Welcome back to another video on RIP News. Over the past 24 hours, the world has bid farewell to some truly extraordinary individuals. Today, we pause to remember their lives, honor their memories, and reflect on the legacies they leave behind. If their stories have touched your heart, we humbly ask you to show your support by liking this video, a small gesture of respect for lives that meant so much to so many. Thank you for being here. Presley Ogage Chweneyagi was born on October 19, 1984, in Mafeking, a town in South Africa's northwest province. From a young age, Presley exhibited a passion for the performing arts, joining drama classes at the age of 10. His mother, recognizing his talent and the potential for a brighter future, encouraged him to pursue acting to avoid the hardships that plagued many in their community. EW.com. +10. en.wikipedia.org. +10. encyclopedia.com. +10. trt.global. +1. washingtonpost.com. +1. washingtonpost.com. Growing up in an environment marked by poverty and social challenges, Presley's early life was not without struggles. However, these experiences would later inform his powerful performances, bringing authenticity and depth to the characters he portrayed. Presley's breakthrough came in 2005 when he starred in the film Tsotsi, directed by Gavin Hood and based on the novel by Athol Fugard. In the film, he played a young gang leader in Johannesburg who undergoes a transformation after caring for a baby found in a stolen car. The film received critical acclaim and won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film in 2006, marking South Africa's first Oscar win in that category. en.wikipedia.org. +10. ew.com. +10. washingtonpost.com. +10. apnews.com. +3. washingtonpost.com. +3. ew.com. +3. Following the success of Tsotsi, Presley continued to build an impressive career in film, television, and theater. He appeared in notable productions such as Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom, 2013, More Than Just a Game, State of Violence, and Africa United. On television, he gained popularity for his role as Cobra in the South African series The River, a performance that earned him South African Film and Television Awards, SAFTAs, in 2019 and 2024. apnews.com. +7. ew.com. +7. ew.com. +7. Beyond acting, Presley was also a talented writer and director. He co-wrote the internationally acclaimed stage play Relativity with Paul Grootboom, showcasing his versatility and commitment to storytelling. apnews.com. +1. latimes.com. +1. encyclopedia.com. +5. latimes.com. +5. apnews.com. +5. Despite his professional success, Presley's life was not without controversy. In 2023, he was implicated in a national lottery scandal involving misappropriated funds intended for community development projects. While the investigation brought challenges, it did not overshadow his contributions to the arts and his role in elevating South African cinema on the global stage. en.wikipedia.org. trt.global. +3. apnews.com. +3. en.wikipedia.org. +3. Tragically, Presley Chweneyagi passed away on May 27, 2025, at the age of 40, due to respiratory complications. His untimely death prompted an outpouring of tributes from fans, colleagues, and national institutions. The South African government honored him as a gifted storyteller whose talent lit up our screens and hearts, and SAFTA hailed him as a true legend of South African cinema. Facebook.com. +11. washingtonpost.com. +11. en.wikipedia.org. +11. facebook.com. +4. en.wikipedia.org, +4. apnews.com, +4. Presley Chweneyaga's success story is one of perseverance, talent, and a deep commitment to authentic storytelling. He used his platform to shed light on pressing social issues and to inspire a new generation of artists. His legacy lives on through his impactful performances and the stories he brought to life. Toby Keith Covell was born on July 8, 1961, in Clinton, Oklahoma, to Hubert K. Covell Jr., a derrick hand on oil rigs, and Joan Covell, an aspiring singer-turned-homemaker. Raised in Moore, Oklahoma, Toby was introduced to music at a young age, receiving his first guitar at the age of 8 and spending summers working at his grandmother's tavern in Arkansas, where he occasionally sat in with the house band. RottenTomatoes.com, +12. CountryMusicHallOfFame.org, +12. en.wikipedia.org, +12. Before embarking on his music career, Toby worked in the oil fields and played semi-professional football for the Oklahoma City Drillers. In the early 1980s, he formed the Easy Money Band, performing in local bars and honky-tonks across Oklahoma and Texas. Despite facing numerous challenges, including the collapse of the oil industry, Toby remained committed to his passion for music. Amazon.com, +2. CountryMusicHallOfFame.org, +2. OKHistory.org, +2. CountryMusicHallOfFame.org, +2. Amazon.com, +2. OKHistory.org, +2. His big break came in 1993 when he signed with Mercury Records and released his debut single, Should Have Been a Cowboy, which became the most played country song of the 1990s. The song's success catapulted Toby into the spotlight, leading to a series of platinum albums and chart-topping hits. CountryMusicHallOfFame.org, +4. Songhall.org, +4. OKHistory.org, +4. EncyclopediaofArkansas.net. Throughout his career, Toby Keith released 19 studio albums, 2 Christmas albums, and 5 compilation albums, selling over 40 million albums worldwide. He charted 61 singles on the Billboard Hot Country Songs charts, including 20 #1 hits and 22 additional top 10 hits. His music often reflected themes of patriotism, love, and the American spirit, resonating with fans across the country. en.wikipedia.org, +1. Encyclopediaofarkansas.net, +1. In addition to his music career, Toby ventured into acting, starring in films such as Broken Bridges, 2006, and Beer for My Horses, 2008. He also founded his own record label, Show Dog Nashville, in 2005, demonstrating his entrepreneurial spirit and commitment to supporting fellow artists. TVInsider.com, +9. en.wikipedia.org, +9. RottenTomatoes.com, +9. Toby's contributions to music were recognized with numerous awards, including induction into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2015, the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2021, and the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2024. He was also awarded the National Medal of Arts by President Donald Trump in 2021. EncyclopediaofArkansas.net, +2. OKHistory.org, +2. TobyKeith.com, +2. EncyclopediaofArkansas.net, +2. en.wikipedia.org, +2. OKHistory.org, +2. Beyond his professional achievements, Toby was known for his philanthropic efforts. He participated in 11 USO tours, performing for nearly 256,000 troops and military families across 18 countries. He also organized the 2013 OK Twister Relief Concert to support victims of a devastating tornado in his hometown. Biography.com, +2. CountryMusicHallOfFame.org, +2. Amazon.com, +2. TobyKeith.com, +1. OKHistory.org, +1. In 2022, Toby revealed he had been diagnosed with stomach cancer. Despite his illness, He continued to perform and connect with fans, embodying resilience and dedication until his passing on February 5, 2024, at the age of 62. TV.apple.com. +2. RottenTomatoes.com. +2. Biography.com. +2. YouTube.com. +4. en.wikipedia.org. +4. RottenTomatoes.com. +4. Toby Keith's legacy is one of unwavering commitment to his craft, his country, and his fans. His music continues to inspire and resonate, a testament to a life lived with passion and purpose. Steve Harley, the British singer, songwriter, and frontman of the glam rock band Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel, passed away peacefully on March 17, 2024, after a private battle with cancer. He was 73 years old. Though the world has lost a unique voice and presence, his music and spirit continue to live on in generations of fans and fellow musicians. Born Stephen Malcolm Ronald Nice in London, Harley's early life was shaped by both hardship and perseverance. As a child, he was struck by polio, an illness that would require long periods of hospitalization and rehabilitation. Yet, those long months in hospital beds gave him time to reflect, read, and dream, laying the groundwork for his poetic voice and introspective songwriting. Before stepping fully into music, Harley worked as a trainee accountant, a reporter, and a busker on the streets of London. But it was music that truly called to him. In the early 1970s, he formed Cockney Rebel, a band that quickly carved out its own identity in the rising glam rock scene. With theatrical flair, poetic lyrics, and Harley's unmistakable voice, they stood apart. The band's breakthrough came with the release of Judy Teen in 1974, but it was their chart-topping anthem, Make Me Smile, Come Up and See Me, in 1975 that became a timeless classic, still played on radios, in films, and covered by countless artists around the world. The song remains a defining moment in British pop history, known not only for its infectious melody but for Harley's razor-sharp lyrics aimed at former bandmates. Harley's songwriting always carried depth. He blended wit, cynicism, romance, and melancholy, drawing influence from literature and life experiences. Albums like The Psychomoto, Timeless Flight, and Love's a Prima Donna showed a fearless commitment to artistic integrity. Though he found fame during the glam rock era, Harley defied easy categorization, fusing rock, folk, and pop into something uniquely his. Beyond the hits, Steve Harley was a gifted live performer. He toured tirelessly throughout the UK and Europe, often with an acoustic setup in later years, where he reimagined his classics with intimacy and nuance. His connection with fans was personal. Each concert felt like a conversation, an invitation into his world of reflection and rebellion. In addition to his work as a musician, Harley was a radio presenter, an interviewer, and a thoughtful voice on social and political matters. He hosted radio shows on BBC Radio 2, where he interviewed artists and explored the stories behind the music, always with genuine curiosity and empathy. Though he never courted celebrity in the traditional sense, Harley remained a respected figure in the British music scene. His impact went far beyond the charts. He inspired countless musicians, from new wave to Britpop and beyond. His fearlessness in staying true to his vision made him an artist's artist. Privately, Steve Harley was a devoted husband and father. He is survived by his wife, Dorothy, and their 2 children. He often spoke of family as his greatest treasure, and in his later years, he balanced touring with cherished time at home in Suffolk. He found joy in nature, philosophy, conversation, and the quiet beauty of the English countryside. Even during his illness, Harley stayed engaged with his fans and music. He was working on new material and planning concerts up until the final months of his life, a testament to his lifelong passion and resilience. His death was met with an outpouring of tributes from fans, musicians, and broadcasters across the UK and beyond. Steve Harley was a poet with a guitar, a rebel with a cause, and a storyteller who knew how to touch the soul. He gave us music that made us think, feel, smile, and sometimes cry. His songs weren't just entertainment, they were experiences. Though he has taken his final bow, Steve Harley's voice will continue to echo through time. His words, melodies, and message of individualism and emotional honesty will live on, in playlists, in memories, and in hearts that he helped shape through his music. He made us smile. And he always will. Eric Carmen, the iconic American singer, songwriter, and frontman of the Raspberries, passed away peacefully on March 11, 2024, at the age of 74. Known for his soaring melodies, heartfelt lyrics, and powerful voice, Carmen's music helped define the sound of both 1970s power pop and 1980s soft rock. His songs expressed longing, hope, heartbreak, and triumph, emotions that will echo in listeners' hearts for generations. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, Eric Howard Carmen was raised in a family with deep musical roots. Both his parents were of Russian Jewish descent, and he began studying classical music at a very young age. He was a piano prodigy by the age of 6 and later taught himself to play guitar, inspired by the British invasion bands of the 1960s. Carmen attended John Carroll University and eventually joined a local rock band that would become the Raspberries, a group that helped pioneer what came to be known as power pop, blending Beatles-esque harmonies with American rock and roll spirit. In 1972, the Raspberries released their hit, Go All the Way, a driving, infectious anthem that became an instant classic. With Carmen's soaring vocals and impeccable songwriting, the band earned a cult following and influenced a wide range of artists from Bruce Springsteen to Cheap Trick. Though the Raspberries disbanded in the mid-1970s, Carmen's solo career skyrocketed soon after. In 1975, he released his self-titled debut solo album, which included the smash hits All By Myself and Never Gonna Fall in Love Again. These ballads, built around sweeping arrangements and Carmen's emotive voice, captured the pain and beauty of vulnerability, and solidified his place as one of the premier soft rock artists of the decade. All By Myself, in particular, became a cultural touchstone, covered by artists like Celine Dion and referenced in films, commercials, and television shows for decades. Carmen had a unique gift for turning personal melancholy into universal anthems, writing songs that felt like conversations with the soul. Through the 1980s and into the early 90s, Carmen continued to create hits. He wrote and performed Hungry Eyes for the Dirty Dancing soundtrack, a song that remains one of the most recognizable love ballads of the era. He also co-wrote Almost Paradise, another romantic hit that became a staple of 1980s pop culture. Behind the scenes, Carmen was a perfectionist, meticulous with arrangements, lyrics, and delivery. He cared deeply about the craft of songwriting and respected the emotional connection between music and audience. Though he never craved celebrity, his music always found its way into the hearts of millions. He was nominated for Grammy Awards and earned gold and platinum records, but more importantly, he earned lifelong fans. Outside of the spotlight, Eric Carmen was a private and introspective man. He valued peace, nature, and creativity. He was known for his intelligence, dry wit, and deep conversations. Those close to him describe him as warm, loyal, and thoughtful, a man who let his music speak his truths. In his later years, Carmen reunited with his Raspberries bandmates for several acclaimed live shows, including a memorable performance in 2004 that reignited interest in their legacy. Even when he wasn't touring or releasing new material, his influence could be felt in modern music, in the sounds of artists who followed in his melodic footsteps. Eric is survived by his wife Amy, his children, and a devoted fan base that spans generations. His passing marked the end of an era, but also reminded the world of the timelessness of great songwriting. In a world that often changes too fast, Eric Carmen gave us songs that remain, that comfort, and that connect. Whether you remember dancing to Hungry Eyes, crying to All By Myself, or blasting Go All the Way on a summer drive, you've been touched by his art. His songs were never just background noise, they were part of life's most memorable moments. Eric Carmen may have left this world, but his voice will never fade. His melodies will still play on quiet nights, first dances, lonely mornings, and triumphant returns. He gave us music that understood us, and for that, he will always be remembered. Tony Clarkin, the iconic American singer, British guitarist, and frontman of the Raspberries, and founding member of the rock band Magnum, 2024 on January 7, 2024. known for his soaring melodies, at the age of 77, and powerful voice, battle with Carmen's music helped define the sound of both 1970s power pop and 1980s soft rock fans. His songs expressed longing, of rock music, heartbreak, where his legacy of emotions, melodies, and listeners' hearts for generations will forever resonate. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, Birmingham, Eric Howard Carmen was raised in a family with deep musical-class family, and both his parents were of Russian Jewish descent, and he began studying classical British rock at a very young age. Of the 1960s. He was a piano prodigy by the age of 6 and later taught himself to play guitar, not as a dream inspired by the British invasion bands of the 1960s. Carmen attended John Carroll University and eventually joined a local rock band that would become the Raspberries, a group that helped pioneer what came to be known as power pop, Clarkin blending Beatles as harmonies with American vocalist Bob Catley. In 1972, the Raspberries released their hit "Go All the Way," a driving, what began as a local Birmingham band evolved into one of the UK's most impeccable songwriting. The band earned a cult following and influenced a wide range of artists from powerful songwriting and visionary direction. Though the Raspberries disbanded in the mid-1970s, came in the early solo career skyrocketed soon after. Chase the Dragon, 1975, on a Storyteller's released his self-titled debut solo album, songs like which included the smash hits "All by Myself" and "Never Gonna Fall in Love Again." Clarkin blended hard built around sweeping cinematic storytelling and symphonic captured the pain and beauty of vulnerability, often read and solidified his place as one of the premier soft rock artists imagination, and All by Myself in particular became a cultural touchstone, covered by artists like Celine Dion and referenced in films, commercials, hit and television shows for decades. The 1988 Carmen had a unique gift for turning personal melancholy into universal place in rock, writing songs that felt like conversations with the soul. No Trust through the 1980s and into the early 90s. Carmen continued to create hits, and the band began playing to packed arenas across the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. Through it all, a song that remains one of the most recognizable love ballads of the era, writing every single song, almost crafting the another romantic hit that became a staple of 1980s pop culture. Tony Clarkin's approach to Carmen was a perfectionist, meticulous with arrangements, he didn't chase trends, and delivery. He followed instinct. He cared deeply about the craft of songwriting and respected the emotional connection between music and audience. Love, though he never craved celebrity, and hope, his music always found its way into the hearts of millions. Music was never about the spotlight. He was nominated for Grammy Awards connecting with gold and platinum telling records, stories but more importantly, he earned delivering melodies that stayed outside of the spotlight after the song Eric Carmen ended. Was a private and introspective man. Magnum took a brief hiatus in the mid-1990s. Clarkin was known for his intelligence, dry wit, and deep conversations. Bob Catley formed those close to him describe him as warm, that allowed them to experiment. A man who let his music speak his eventually reuniting in his later years. In the Carmen reunited with his Raspberries bandmates for several acclaimed live shows, continued to write a memorable performance in 2004 that reignited interest in their legacy, releasing a string of acclaimed albums like new material. Princess Alice his influence could be felt in modern music, in the sounds of artists who followed in his melodic footsteps. In total, Eric is survived by his wife over 20 studio albums and a devoted fan base that spans generations. A staggering feat of his passing marked the end of an era, but also reminded the world of the timelessness of great songwriting. Felt like a chapter in a world that often changes too fast. A continuation of his mission to blend rock and storytelling with elegance and heart. Whether you remember dancing to fellow musicians, often describe Tony as quiet and humble, all the way a man who let his music do the talking. By his art. His songs were never just fame or awards, they were part of life's most memorable moments. He was a devoted may have left this world, a mentor his voice will never fade, and his melodies will still play on quiet nights. First dances, said he wrote songs to make sense of the world around him. He gave us music that understood us, he helped countless others make sense of theirs. Outside of music, Tony enjoyed photography, spending time in nature, and being with his family. He was a man of depth and integrity, fiercely private, yet profoundly generous through the music he gave to the world. Tony is survived by his wife, children, and grandchildren, as well as his lifelong friend and bandmate Bob Catley, with whom he shared one of the longest-running creative partnerships in rock music. Their bond was more than musical, it was brotherhood, built on trust, respect, and a shared vision that stood the test of time. As news of his passing spread, tributes poured in from across the music world, from fans who had followed Magnum since the 70s, to younger artists inspired by his songwriting and musicianship. Concerts, radio stations, and social media lit up with memories of concerts, lyrics, and personal stories, each one a testament to the quiet power of Tony's work. Tony Clarkin wasn't just a guitarist or a songwriter. He was a storyteller, an architect of emotion, a craftsman of melody. He reminded us that rock music can be majestic, thoughtful, and timeless. And though he has left the stage for the last time, his songs will continue to play on, in headphones, car rides, concert halls, and hearts. As long as there are those who believe in the power of music to move the soul, Tony Clarkin's legacy will endure. Because in every guitar riff, every lyric, every soaring chorus he wrote, he left behind not just music, but meaning. Rest in peace, Tony. And thank you for the stories. Mojo Nixon, the wildly charismatic and fiercely independent American musician, radio host, and cultural satirist, passed away on February 7, 2024, at the age of 66, while on a music cruise doing what he loved most, performing. His death marked the end of an era of rock and roll rebellion, sharp-witted commentary, and fearless self-expression. Born Neil McMillan Jr. in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Mojo Nixon was never meant to live a conventional life. From a young age, he was drawn to the wild energy of rockabilly, the defiance of punk, and the sharp tongue of country storytelling. He took the stage name Mojo Nixon as a fusion of deep Southern blues mythology and political disruption, a sign of the sonic chaos he was about to unleash on the world. In the 1980s, Mojo burst onto the underground music scene with his partner Skid Roper, forming a duo that became famous for their raw sound, biting lyrics, and outrageous stage presence. Their music wasn't just rock, it was a form of cultural protest. Mojo wasn't afraid to call out hypocrisy, celebrity worship, or societal nonsense. His 1987 cult classic, Elvis Is Everywhere, turned him into an underground icon. Equal parts absurd and philosophical, the song humorously argued that the king of rock was in all things, from fast food to the DMV. Other tracks like Stuffin' Martha's Muffin and Don Henley Must Die became lightning rods of controversy and hilarity, fearlessly naming names and taking no prisoners. Mojo's music was a mix of cowpunk, psychobilly, garage rock, and twisted Americana, all delivered with a crazed grin and a mission to shake people awake. But beneath the comedy and chaos, there was always purpose. Mojo Nixon believed in freedom, freedom of thought, speech, and sound. He detested corporate control over music and culture, and he lived his life with unfiltered honesty. He never played the industry's game. He created his own, and he invited the misfits, the outlaws, and the true believers to join in. After his partnership with Skid Roper ended, Mojo continued to record solo albums and collaborate with other like-minded rebels like Jello Biafra, Reverend Horton Heat, and the Beat Farmers. His musical career extended into film as well. He appeared in cult movies like Super Mario Bros. 1993, and Great Balls of Fire, often playing exaggerated versions of himself. In the late 1990s and 2000s, Mojo found a new platform, radio. As a host on Sirius XM's Outlaw Country, he became the voice of the unsanitized, unapologetic, and uncensored side of country and rock. His show, Loon in the Afternoon, was filled with rants, raw music, and raucous humor, and it became must-listen radio for anyone tired of manufactured pop and corporate playlists. Mojo Nixon wasn't just a performer, he was a preacher of chaos, a philosopher of rebellion, and a warrior for artistic freedom. He didn't care if you agreed with him. He only cared if you felt something. Away from the spotlight, Mojo was known to be a loving husband, a devoted father, and a loyal friend. His loud persona on stage was matched by a deep intelligence and a surprising kindness off stage. He believed in community, authenticity, and telling the truth, even when it made people uncomfortable. His passing came as a shock. He had just performed aboard the Outlaw Country cruise the night before his death, still electrifying audiences with his voice, his stories, and his unstoppable energy. For Mojo, there was no retirement, no slow fade. He lived loud, fast, and fully, until the very end. Mojo is survived by his wife Adair, his children, and a cult following of fans who saw in him something rare, a man who refused to be tamed, who made us laugh, think, and rage against the machine. Since his death, tributes have poured in from across the musical spectrum. Fellow artists, comedians, DJs, and fans have all shared stories of Mojo's influence, whether through a rebellious song, a wild interview, or a life-changing concert. In a world increasingly shaped by caution and conformity, Mojo Nixon stood tall as a reminder that music should be dangerous, funny, and free. His songs were satire with a shotgun, poetry with a punchline, and truth with a twang. Mojo once said, "You can't be weird enough for me." And in saying that, he gave countless misfits the permission to be their wildest selves. He gave them a soundtrack for rebellion, a laugh in the darkness, and the courage to scream into the void with joy. Rest in power, Mojo Nixon, the outlaw who never backed down. Your fire will keep burning in every barroom, back road, and radio wave where real music still lives. Chita Rivera, the legendary Broadway star, dancer, and trailblazing Latina performer, passed away peacefully on January 30th, 2024, at the age of 91, just 1 week after her 91st birthday. Her passing marks the end of an extraordinary era in American theater, but her legacy will continue to shine as brightly as the stage lights she once lit up for decades. Born Dolores Conchita Figueroa del Rivero Anderson in Washington, D.C., to a Puerto Rican father and a Scottish-American mother, Chita's life was shaped by both rhythm and resilience. She lost her father, a musician in the U.S. Navy band, at the age of 7, a loss that left a void, but one that was soon filled with the discipline and energy of dance. Chita's path to stardom began not with fame in mind, but with passion in her heart. She was a natural athlete and performer. At just 15, she auditioned for and was accepted into the prestigious School of American Ballet in New York City. Thanks to a twist of fate, she had only gone to support a friend. That day, a star was born. Her early career began in the chorus lines of Broadway shows, but her talent and charisma could not be hidden for long. In 1957, she was cast as Anita in the original Broadway production of West Side Story. Her fiery, commanding performance not only electrified audiences but helped define the show as one of the most important musicals in history. Chita Rivera wasn't just a dancer or an actress, she was a force. Her movements were poetry. Her voice, filled with sass and soul. And her ability to inhabit a character was unmatched. Over the years, she originated iconic roles in shows like Bye Bye Birdie, Chicago, The Rink, Kiss of the Spider-Woman, and The Visit. Many of these roles were created especially for her, a rare honor in the world of theater. She was nominated for 10 Tony Awards, winning twice, for The Rink in 1984 and Kiss of the Spider-Woman in 1993. In 2018, she was honored with the Special Tony Award for Lifetime Achievement in Theater. And in 2009, she became the first Latina to receive the Kennedy Center Honors, followed by the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009, America's highest civilian honor. But Chita's road wasn't always easy. In 1986, she was involved in a near-fatal car accident that shattered her left leg. Doctors feared she might never dance again. But with the heart of a warrior, she defied the odds. After months of physical therapy and sheer willpower, she returned to the stage, not just walking, but dancing. That resilience defined her. She broke barriers at a time when there were few roles for Latinas on Broadway. She fought stereotypes, challenged casting norms, and demanded that her culture and identity be seen, heard, and respected. Beyond her own performances, she mentored and inspired generations of artists, especially young women and performers of color. She opened doors that had been tightly shut for years, and she did it not with protest, but with undeniable talent and presence. Offstage, Chita was known for her humor, generosity, and unwavering professionalism. She had an infectious laugh, a sharp mind, and an open heart. She once said, "I love the theater. I love to perform. I love to give my all, because that's what the audience deserves." And she meant it. Every show, every night, every bow, she gave her soul to the stage. Her daughter, Lisa Mordente, is also a performer, and their bond was as strong as ever, rooted in mutual respect and love for the arts. When news of her passing broke, tributes poured in from across the globe. Broadway dimmed its lights. Fellow performers, directors, and fans shared memories of her dazzling performances, her groundbreaking roles, and her powerful example. Lin-Manuel Miranda, Rita Moreno, Bernadette Peters, and countless others spoke of how Chita paved the way for them. Chita Rivera wasn't just a Broadway star. She was Broadway. She represented its golden era, its evolution, and its future. Her name will forever be linked with excellence, courage, and joy. She proved that talent knows no boundaries of race, gender, or background, and that passion can carry you through every obstacle. She leaves behind a treasure trove of performances, recordings, awards, and most of all, memories etched in the hearts of those who watched her move like lightning across the stage. Chita once said, "The theater is my church. That's where I go to feel alive." And alive she was, in every spotlight, every costume, every standing ovation. Today, the curtain has fallen for Chita Rivera. But her spirit dances on, in every aspiring performer who dares to dream, in every theater lover who knows the magic of a live performance, and in every song that carries her rhythm. Rest in peace, Chita Rivera, the Queen of Broadway, the trailblazer, the fighter, the legend. The world is brighter because you danced through it. Christian Oliver, the charismatic and versatile German-born actor who made his mark in both European and American film and television, tragically passed away on January 4, 2024, in a plane crash off the coast of Bequia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He was just 51 years old. Alongside him were his two beloved daughters, Medita and Anik, aged 10 and 12. The world lost not just a talented actor, but a devoted father, a passionate storyteller, and a man full of life. Born Christian Klepser in Celle, Lower Saxony, Germany, and raised in Frankfurt, he began his career far from the glamour of Hollywood. But even in his early years, Christian had an unmistakable presence, charming, confident, and deeply curious about the world. After completing his education in Germany, he made the bold decision to pursue acting seriously and move to the United States to study and build a career in the toughest industry on earth. Christian trained at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute and the Beverly Hills Playhouse in Los Angeles. He took his craft seriously. For him, acting wasn't just about fame, it was about connecting with people, telling meaningful stories, and embodying characters that resonated with audiences. He began gaining attention in the 1990s with roles in Hollywood films like The Babysitter's Club, 1995, and Saved by the Bell, The New Class, but his breakthrough came back in his native Germany, when he starred in the immensely popular action series Alarm for Cobra 11. As Jan Richter, he became a household name across Europe, known for his stunts, intensity, and charm. That role opened many doors for him. Over the years, Christian moved fluidly between German and international productions. He appeared in acclaimed films like Valkyrie, 2008, alongside Tom Cruise, Speed Racer, 2008, by the Wachowskis, and The Good German, 2006, with George Clooney. He also took on voiceover work and appeared in various independent films, always looking to challenge himself with new roles and genres. But beyond the screen, Christian Oliver was much more than an actor. He was a father first. He adored his daughters and often spoke about how much joy they brought into his life. His social media was filled with glimpses into their adventures together, hiking, traveling, laughing, and living in the moment. He was a storyteller who believed life itself was the greatest story, and he made every chapter count. Christian also had a keen business sense. He produced films, directed projects, and co-founded his own production company. He had recently completed a film titled Forever Hold Your Peace, which was expected to be released posthumously. The movie was deeply personal and showed his commitment to meaningful content, stories that mattered, that moved people, and that left a message behind. His sudden death shocked fans and colleagues across the globe. The plane crash that took his life, and the lives of his daughters, occurred while they were traveling back from a holiday. The tragedy not only robbed the world of a talented artist but also tore apart a family and community that loved him dearly. In the days following his passing, tributes poured in from every corner of the industry. Fellow actors, producers, directors, and fans expressed not just sorrow, but immense respect. He was remembered not only for his performances but for his professionalism, his kindness, and the way he treated everyone, from co-stars to crew, with warmth and dignity. Christian Oliver's life was a bridge between Germany and America, between art and reality, between fame and humility. He proved that you didn't have to sacrifice your values to succeed. He never chased stardom. He chased depth. Whether it was a big-budget Hollywood film or a small indie project, he brought the same energy, commitment, and heart. He once said in an interview, "Acting gives me the freedom to explore different lives. But at the end of the day, the most important role I play is being a father." And that was Christian, grounded, grateful, and full of love. He is survived by his former wife and the mother of his children, Jessica Klepser, along with a large family and countless friends who are still grieving this unimaginable loss. Christian Oliver leaves behind a legacy of artistic excellence, cultural connection, and above all, humanity. His life, though tragically short, was rich with meaning, laughter, and love. As we remember him, we also remember the beautiful spirits of Medita and Anik, two young souls full of promise, joy, and light, who are now forever with their father in peace. In a world that often rushes past what truly matters, Christian Oliver slowed down, to hug his daughters, to dive into his roles, and to live fully. His legacy isn't just on screen, it's in the hearts of everyone he touched. Rest in peace, Christian Oliver. Your journey continues in every performance, every smile, and every story you helped tell.